As I record this, I had to ponder. Someone asked me, why do I do these media therapy deep dives? The first response would be, I don't know. They come natural. I watch a piece of media, and when it speaks to me, I just talk about what it said to me, what I picked up from it, what themes the characters are going through, or the overarching plot, or whatever. Just a little bit deeper than a surface level discussion on a particular show or movie. This episode made me think about my grandmother and my mother and myself. When my grandmother passed at the wee young age of 102, she suffered from dementia and Alzheimer's. She was vibrant. She really was. And then she had to have a surgery very late in her life, late 80s, 90. It's like when they cut her open, all the black girl magic just spilled out. And she went from being this vibrant soul to a husk of herself. You could look in her eyes and see the lights were on, but nobody was home. And it was hurtful to see. My mom's up there, and my mom now is at the point of asking me the same thing over and over and over again. And it's hard to see that somebody has a dimmer switch on the lights. And I just think about my own memory problems. I used to have damn near photographic memory. And now my memory, hell, I would forget the photograph. Why do I do this? Even though I'm not a licensed therapist, I'm not a psych major, I just want to be helpful. I just want to be impactful, and hopefully my experiences, what little bit of wisdom I have, might be able to help someone. Hello, Governor. This is Rakai Steve, new from the Ville. We're going to talk about Doctor Who, Season 8, Episode 10, In the Forest of the Night. Now, if you watched my channel before, you know that I'm not going to do a long recap. I'm going to do a very short recap about this episode. And if you're interested in watching the reaction between Centel and myself, and then listen to our discussion afterwards, go into the description and click the link that says episode this analysis is based on. The Doctor and Clara are in a bad place. Clara's working with Danny. They're taking some kids on a field trip, and the Doctor lands in what looks to be a part of London, but when he comes out, it looks like it's all jungle. It does not look like London at all. Next thing you know, this little girl comes up to him and tells him that she was sent to get the Doctor. She disappears. She's hearing voices. She disappears. Danny and Clara and the kids find out that where they're at, the entire Earth, London, is also run over with trees of plant and flora. But it's not an isolated incident in London. It's happened all over the world. We come to find out, the doctor finds out that there is a solar flare that popped up off the sun and is on its way to Earth. And if the solar flare engulfs Earth, all life will cease. This little girl, Maeve, she hears voices. And basically she hears the trees talking to her. And what happens are that the trees sprouted up overnight as a defense mechanism to protect the earth. Nature takes care of nature. And it has to happen in a way that we, or nature, forgets its true nature, which is to protect. The nature is able to protect the earth, and Danny has a realization that Clara's been lying to him about her involvement or non-involvement with the doctor. And it's time for them to have a heart-to-heart, and he's actually extremely understanding. But Clara has to make a hard choice about, is it Danny or is it the doctor? Because she's been playing both sides of the field, trying to have her cake and eat it too. And at this point, she has to make a choice. You know that I love my quotes, and I only have two. The first one's by Sholem Ash, and it is, not the power to remember, but its very opposite, the power to forget, is a necessary condition for our existence. The other quote is one that you may have heard from your grandma or someone close to you. You may have heard as just an anecdote. I don't know who said this. Forget what hurt you, but never forget what it taught you. Now, I went and looked on Google because I was thinking that because the earth forgot that it had to protect itself, and the earth, when the time came, popped up and remembered its crucial function to protect itself from the solar flare. At first, my focus on this was on the forgetting. So I went to Google, and Google talks about that forgetting isn't just a weakness. It's a, crucial cognitive function that allows us to prioritize, learn, and adapt by clearing out unnecessary information and focusing on what matters. And that sounds good. But if you forget something, was it that important to begin with? I don't want to talk about the forgetting. I want to talk about the effect that it has on the people who are forgotten. You know, I did have a semi-close relationship with my grandmother, and I'm not gonna pretend like we were super close and besties and none of that. I'm a military brat, and my mother and my younger brother and I spent many years out with my father, who we lived all over the world. We've lived in many states in the United States, and we've lived in Germany twice for a total of 4 years. So every time I got to spend time with my grandmother, it was special because she was special. And I think it's one of those things, if you get to see your grandkids and kids every day, you love them, of course, and you appreciate them, but it's not the same as spending real quality time with them, people you don't get to see that often. And I think that's what it was. It's easy to take things that you do or you say or you see every day for granted. So I feel like I had a special bond with my grandmother because when she talked, I hung on every word. My mother gave up the life that she had, the life she could have had, to take care of her mother. My mom's the second oldest of a long, there's a lot of them, there's 100 of them. Now, my mom did that out of love or humility or just because she felt like she had to. I don't know. But I got a twofer because every time I went to go see my grandmother, I saw my mother. Every time I went to see my mother, I saw my grandmother. And I don't know if watching my grandmother go through that decline started to aid to my mom's own decline. Maybe start to add to my decline. Not as young as I used to be. It hurts. It does. To see that my grandma, when you try to talk to her, she doesn't even recognize you. She'll look you in the face and, hey, baby. But then she'll have this look on her face that's puzzled, like she's trying really, really hard to figure out who the hell you are. And words will register. So you say, hey, grandmama. And then she'll look at you like, okay, he called me grandma. But I don't think I've ever seen this man before. Like, who is he? Who does he belong to? So to see that, and see small things from my mom where she's doesn't recognize things, or I say the same thing to her 12 times, or a question she just asked me 13 seconds ago, I give her the answer because she just asked me again. See my mom go through it is a different kind of hell. To think that I might go through it because I'm starting to get a lot more forgetful. I've had this unfortunate thing, and I always chalked it up as because I was a military brat, we moved every year, every other year. So even though I established friends, I was extremely popular and social. Hell, it's time to move on a year, so I don't remember your ass anymore. Like, I moved on, got new friends, a new place, doing new stuff. I don't remember all the stuff at the old place. Just don't. But it's followed me all of my life, and now it's bad because I don't move around a whole lot anymore, but now I still can't remember a lot of stuff. You know, they said that forgetting is really, really good for your emotional well-being, and it can be a powerful tool in moving on from painful experiences and focusing on your present normal. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe trauma drove my grandmother into further dementia. Undealt with trauma sparks that in my mother. And even though I've been in therapy for 5 years now, maybe there's still trauma that I'm not getting to or haven't gotten to resolved, fixed fast enough that's resulting in my own cognitive decline. I would like to think that I'm still pretty sharp, but sometimes I just don't know. You know, in looking at this episode, no one took Maeve seriously. It's very easy when you skirt on the fringes of genius or even bizarre. Little kids, people with bizarre personalities, or things that are outside of the normal. Because most people don't know how to deal with it. They don't deal with it, and it's easier to call you crazy instead of maybe recognize your gifts. We have so very little understanding of this world and how it works. You know, normally when I do these, I have a point and I go in and I talk about, this is what the episode spoke to me. This is what I saw. Here are some things that I noticed. Here's some things that might help you to deal with this in your life. And then we're out. I don't have that. This has just been one of those episodes that's made me think about a lot of things that are just a tad bit hurtful and stuff. I don't really want to think about that. You know, the work goes on, and I need to do these deep dives and give you what I got. And today, this is what I got. Is there power in forgetting? Sure, that's what Google says. But there's also a lot of hurt and a lot of trauma in being the forgotten. This is Rakai Steve, new from the Ville. Make sure to like, comment. If you comment, just leave me a comment. Leave me whatever you like. You know, I know this is about forgetting, and it's not like I just forgot what I was going to say. I didn't. But I don't know what I would even want you to comment. So just comment. Leave me something. Share this as much as possible. And if you have not subscribed, make sure you click on the button and subscribe. I hope this helps you in some way. This is not how I normally do these. Usually I have a lot of points and I tell a witty story or something that's less interesting. But today this is a different wavelength, and I apologize if this is not my normal fare, but I also hope that you got something for me. Whatever I do, I try to use this, but I always use this.